Hello there, and welcome to Sleep Science 360. I'm truly glad you wandered in tonight. Before we drift any further, tell me softly, where is this moment finding you? A dimly lit room, a bed where the last echoes of your day are fading, or a quiet corner you chose just for yourself. I love seeing how far this little constellation of calm reaches. If your thoughts have been busy or your heart a little restless, you can let them loosen now. Your breath knows the way back to stillness. Your body remembers how to rest, because tonight we're stepping into a gentle cosmic story, the slow, serene approach of Andromeda and the Milky Way. Two great spirals drifting toward each other across 2.5 million light years, guided only by the soft pull of gravity, light that began its journey when early humans first shaped tools is touching you right now. And in that faint shimmer, you are already part of their long merging future. So breathe and let yourself float with them. We settle here together now, in this soft, expanding quiet, where the day has drifted behind you and the night opens its gentle hands. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. We begin with something simple, a point of light, faint and patient, crossing 2.5 million light years before arriving at the edge of your awareness. That point is Andromeda, a galaxy so wide that a beam of light needs 2,000,000 years just to cross from one of its arms to the other. A quiet giant, a spiral drifting toward us with the slow certainty of gravity. It's okay to rest now. We imagine it not as an object, but as a lantern floating across the deepest ocean, a swirl of 1 trillion stars held together by the invisible glue of dark matter, moving through space at about 110 kilometers per second. Not rushing, just continuing a journey that began long before Earth had oceans at all. Somewhere light continues to travel. We often think of galaxies as still things hanging like pictures on the wall of the sky. But nothing in the cosmos is ever still. Every star drifts, every orbit curves, every cosmic thread pulls gently on another. And in that vast choreography, the Milky Way and Andromeda have been slowly falling toward each other for billions of years. It's okay to drift. Between them lies a gulf of intergalactic darkness, a quiet so complete that a single grain of dust could travel 1,000,000 years before meeting another. And yet, through that emptiness, gravity whispers, a motion almost too soft to imagine, but strong enough to shape the fate of two galaxies. You can rest now. For a moment, we let ourselves sink deeper into that dark, calm space between worlds. No sound, no wind, only the faint hum of hydrogen, the oldest element in the universe, and the soft shimmer of stars being born in pockets of cold, collapsing gas. They ignite slowly, a process taking millions of years, each one lighting a corner of the cosmic sea. And as we breathe, we become part of that slow illumination. Somewhere light continues to travel. We picture Andromeda's arms, long, elegant spirals, turning once every 250 million years, like a breath so vast it becomes indistinguishable from stillness. Those arms sweep through clouds of dust, gathering stars that drift in gentle orbits. Around the galactic center, a quiet, supermassive black hole several million times, the mass of the sun matter moves with perfect, unhurried certainty. It's okay to drift. We imagine the Milky Way from afar, now our home. A soft whirlpool of hundreds of billions of stars, thinner than a breath of fog, when compared to its width of 1,000,000 light years. Our sun circles the galaxy at 220 kilometers per second, taking about 230 million years to complete a single orbit. One slow turn. One cosmic season. You can rest now. And from the quiet space between us and Andromeda, the two spirals look like a pair of lanterns drifting across a dark lake. Their reflections shimmering in a water that isn't water at all. A fabric of space-time, so thin and delicate that a pair of lanterns, passing gravitational ripple, can stretch it like silk. We float there together, watching the future unfold in perfect slow motion. Somewhere light continues to travel. When Andromeda's light reaches Earth, it carries with it small stories, the collapse of a star into a white dwarf, the bright flare of a supernova expanding at 1,000 kilometers per second, the quiet clustering of stars inside old spherical halos that extend far beyond the visible disk. These halos are ancient. Some of their stars are 10 billion years old, nearly as old as the universe itself. It's okay to drift. We let these ages wash over us, not as numbers, but as reassurance that time can be vast and still gentle, that distance can be immense and still meaningful, that even in the quiet of your room you are connected to events unfolding across unimaginable scales. You can rest now. We shift our attention to the dark matter halos surrounding both galaxies, invisible spheres of gravity stretching hundreds of thousands of light years outward. These halos are like deep wells carved into space-time, guiding stars, dust, and entire galaxies along slow, inevitable paths. They shape the cosmic landscape without ever being seen. Somewhere light continues to travel. We let these ages wash over us, not as numbers, but as reassurance that time can be vast and still gentle, that distance can be immense and still meaningful, that even in the quiet of your room you are connected to events unfolding across unimaginable scales. You can rest now. Between the Milky Way and Andromeda, their halos have already begun to touch a soft overlapping of gravity that marks the earliest stage of their billion-year merger. No collision, no crash. Just two enormous clouds of stars, slowly blending into one another like dusk, fading into night. You can rest now. We imagine ourselves gliding above the thin plane of the Milky Way, looking down on its spiral arms, the Orion arm where our sun lives, the larger Perseus arm, the Scutum Centaurus arm, curving inward toward the galactic center. Billions of stars, each one a quiet pulse of fusion, burning at 15 million degrees in its core, yet shining with a soft, distant calm. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The space between the two galaxies is filled not with nothing, but with a thin sprinkling of lone stars, intergalactic wanderers, moving through darkness with no orbit, no anchor, only the memory of the galaxy they once called home. It's okay to drift. And then there is the long breath of gravity, a force that never hurries, never rushes, never grows impatient. It simply waits, pulling the Milky Way and Andromeda, fraction by fraction, century by century, closer and closer, until their paths gently converge. You can rest now. We picture their first touch, not a collision, not a flash, but a subtle stretch in their spiral arms, as tidal forces reach across millions of light years, like hands meeting in the dark. Gas clouds will fold and twist. Star clusters will drift outward. Some regions will flare into light as gravity compresses, hydrogen and new stars ignite. Somewhere, light continues to travel. We imagine this future not as destruction, but as renewal, a dance almost too slow to perceive lasting billions of years, shaping a new galaxy far larger than either one alone. A soft blending of starlight and motion, guided by the most patient force in the universe. It's okay to drift, and through all these scales, light years, millions of degrees, trillions of stars, there is a quiet truth resting beneath it all. You are part of this story too. Your atoms were forged in old stars older than Andromeda's brightest spirals. Your breath carries the memory of ancient hydrogen that once drifted through intergalactic space. Your heartbeat echoes rhythms written into the fabric of the cosmos. You can rest now, softly, slowly, as the galaxies continue their long approach. In the quiet between stars, you are remembered. Somewhere light continues to travel. We drift a little deeper now, into the quiet between two galaxies that have been moving toward each other for almost as long as the universe has known stars. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The vast distance between the Milky Way and Andromeda, 2.5 million light years, is shrinking at a pace that seems impossible to feel a gentle draw of 110 kilometers every second, like a soft, ongoing sigh of gravity. It's okay to drift. We often imagine space as static, a frozen canvas, where stars simply hang. But everything is in motion, slow, patient, gravitational motion. Every cluster drifts, every filament stretches, every galaxy glides through the dark, guided by unseen threads. Somewhere, light continues to travel. In the quiet darkness between us and Andromeda, small galaxies accompany the journey. M32 and M110 dwarf companions orbit Andromeda like quiet lanterns, their shapes softened by long ages of tidal stretching. These little galaxies contain millions of stars, some older than 9 or 10 billion years glowing, like memories left in the sky. You can rest now. We imagine passing near M32, a compact ellipse of ancient starlight, its core dense with stars pressed close together. Not dangerous, just warm, crowded, and old. A fossil of early cosmic time, preserved in a gentle orbit around its larger host. It's okay to drift. As we move through this imagined space, we picture the intergalactic medium, a thin mist of atoms spread so far apart that a single cubic meter might hold only a handful of stray particles. Yet even here, hydrogen whispers with faint radiation left over from formative cosmic ages. Somewhere light continues to travel. From this dark openness, two galaxies seem to glow more brightly, their halos overlapping their gravitational fields, blending like the soft pull of tides around distant shores. You can rest now. Inside the Milky Way, our sun continues its orbit around the galactic center. At 220 kilometers per second, it carries Earth through an elegant curve that began hundreds of millions of years before humans walked upright. We've traveled through spiral arms, past star-forming regions, rich with gas through quiet, empty corridors where only faint clusters drift. It's okay to drift. Andromeda, too, follows its own internal rhythms. Billions of stars completing slow orbits across its massive disk. Some of these stars lie 1,0,0,0,0,0 light years from the center. Their journeys taking hundreds of millions of years for a single circuit, like clock hands sweeping across a cosmic face too vast for any one lifetime to observe. Somewhere, light continues to travel. We imagine being suspended between these two great spirals, lanterns of starlight hung in the deepest ocean of night. Both move gracefully, pulled gently by the curve of space-time itself, each responding to the other in a slow, inevitable dance. You can rest now. As their halos continue to overlap, gravity begins its subtle work. It tugs on stars at the very edges of both galaxies, stretching orbits, bending paths, sending faint tides through the dark matter wells that cradle them. It's okay to drift. These tides don't feel like tides to the stars, just a quiet adjustment, a soft redirection. Millions of years of quiet nudges, guiding them toward a shared center of gravity. No sound, no collision, only the gentle persuasion of mass-curving space-time. Somewhere light continues to travel. We imagine following a lone star at the rim of Andromeda's disk. It is old, faint, drifting in a path that loops far above the galaxy's bright spiral arms. Its orbit wobbles slightly, a sign that gravity from the Milky Way has already touched it. A whisper across a gulf of darkness. You can rest now. Between the galaxies, the local group spreads quietly, a family of more than 50 smaller galaxies, some shaped by collisions, others quiet and diffuse. These companions orbit slowly, their futures tied to both Andromeda and the Milky Way. When the great merger begins, some will join the new combined galaxy, while others may drift away, escorted by gravity into new paths. It's okay to drift. We picture Triangulum M33, a smaller spiral galaxy located 3 million light-years from Earth, perhaps already gravitationally linked to both the Milky Way and Andromeda. Some theories imagine Triangulum performing a graceful arc around Andromeda before joining the merger itself, a third lantern gliding into the dance. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The space we float through isn't empty, it's peaceful. Thin threads of intergalactic gas stretch across the void, like breaths suspended in the dark. Occasional rogue stars wander without a home, drifting slowly, since they were flung outward by ancient cosmic interactions. You can rest now. We imagine the galaxies from a distance, two glowing spirals moving along a slow converging path, mapped out by gravity over billions of years. If we watched their approach sped up by millions of times, they would look like dancers circling gently through the dark before finally meeting. It's okay to drift. Their meeting is not sudden. The first soft interaction will arrive in about 4 billion years, when Andromeda's outer disk begins to stretch and warp in response to the Milky Way's gravity. This first pass will pull long, elegant tidal streams from both galaxies, ribbons of stars drawn out across space like strokes of light. Somewhere light continues to travel. We let ourselves settle with that image. Soft streams of stars arcing across the sky, not in violence, but in slow cosmic grace. Stars don't collide. Space between them is too wide. Instead, they glide past each other, gravity reshaping their paths with gentle, unhurried precision. You can rest now. During this first pass, the sky of any future world in the Milky Way would transform into a breathtaking panorama. Andromeda, looming large overhead, its spiral arms stretched across the heavens like luminous rivers. A sky brighter than any dawn Earth has ever known. It's okay to drift. But for now, we remain in the present, the early quiet stage of a journey that began long before our existence and will continue long after. A journey carried by gravity's long breath and the gentle settling of time. Somewhere light continues to travel. We breathe with this motion, slow, inhaling, exhaling, mirroring the rhythm of galaxies, approaching each other over the span of cosmic ages. And in that rhythm, there is comfort, there is calm, there is belonging to something vast and serene. You can rest now. The long approach continues steady and sure. Andromeda draws nearer in almost imperceptible increments, its light brightening by the softest fraction every 1,000 centuries. We move toward a future already written in gravity's script. A meeting as gentle as the drifting of two clouds across a silent sky. It's okay to drift. Here in this shared quiet, we recognize that the universe has never been still. It has always been a place of motion, slow, patient, endlessly unfolding. The merging of galaxies is simply another breath in a long cosmic story. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The galaxies drift closer, now not in any way rushed, but with a patience shaped by billions of quiet years. Their halos, those vast, invisible envelopes of dark matter, overlap more deeply, braiding gravity between them like threads drawn toward a shared center. It's okay to drift. In this long, quiet Andromeda stretches across the darkness as a soft whirl of pale light. Its spiral arms, thick with stars, dust, and glowing gas, curve outward in gentle arcs, each arm moving with a rhythm so slow it becomes indistinguishable from stillness. The galaxy rotates once every 250 million years, a single turn in a time older than memory. You can rest now. Far below those arms, the central bulge glows with the warmth of older, steadier stars. Stars that have burned for billions of years, without hurry, their fusion engines quiet and rhythmic. At Andromeda's core resides a supermassive black hole, tens of millions of times the mass of the sun, not devouring, not raging, but resting a silent anchor around which the entire galaxy drifts. Somewhere, light continues to travel. You can rest now. It's okay to drift. Somewhere, light continues to travel. You can rest now. The Milky Way turns to its own spiral arms, unfolding like gentle rivers of starlight winding slowly through space. Dust clouds shimmer in infrared, glowing with the faint warmth of new stars, still wrapped in their cosmic cradles. Nebulae stretch like soft petals against the dark of the galactic disk, each one a nursery where hydrogen gathers, compresses, and eventually ignites. Somewhere light continues to travel. Within Andromeda's disk, young blue stars burn hot and bright. Their lives short, only tens of millions of years. A brief, brilliant flash compared to the ancient red stars, lingering quietly in the galaxy's outer halo. Clusters form, disperse, drift apart over eons. Nothing stays exactly where it was, yet nothing ever feels rushed. It's okay to drift. The Milky Way's own halo is filled with old globular clusters, spherical collections of up to 1 million stars, bound together in tight gravitational knots. Some are 12 or 13 billion years old, nearly as old as the universe itself. Their stars have been glowing since the first galaxies formed. You can rest now. In the spaces between the two galaxies, there are lone wanderers, solitary stars, drifting without a home galaxy, flung outward by ancient interactions long forgotten. They move through intergalactic darkness with no sound and no hurry, their orbits ending nowhere, their futures open to whatever path gravity shapes next. Somewhere, light continues to travel. Dust-fine grains, smaller than a whisper, floats through the halos of both galaxies. These grains are forged in the outer layers of dying stars, carried outward by gentle stellar winds, scattered across impossible distances. They become seeds of new worlds and galaxies they may never enter. It's okay to drift. In Andromeda's outskirts, streams of stars from long-absorbed dwarf galaxies wrap around it like faint glowing scarves. These relics of ancient mergers are peaceful now, their stars incorporated seamlessly into Andromeda's halo. Nothing lost, only rearranged, only carried forward by the long breath of gravity. You can rest now. The Milky Way holds its relics too. The Sagittarius stream flowing like a pale ribbon around the galactic disk, the remnants of small galaxies that merged quietly into our own. Galactic growth is slow, gentle, a process unfolding over billions of years. The future tidal streams are already written in these faint gravitational touches. They will become long rivers of stars, elegant arching trails drawn outward during the merger, glowing like starlit ribbons strung across the dark. Some streams may span hundreds of thousands of light years, each one a testament to the slow movement of mass through time. As the two spirals drift nearer, the future sky of any distant world in either galaxy will begin to brighten. Andromeda will grow larger, a small smudge becoming a broad arc, then a luminous fan of starlight stretching across the heavens. Future observers, if any exist, will see glowing arms spanning more than the width of the moon, a cosmic dawn rising without sound. It's okay to drift. The structure of space-time between the galaxies is already being reshaped. Dark matter halos overlap like two soft wells merging into one. Gravity deepens, orbits stretch, paths curve gently toward a shared destiny. You can rest now. Gas clouds in both galaxies feel the faint tug. Hydrogen shifts, subtly compressing in some regions, thinning in others. In time, these clouds will collide softly during the early stages of the merger, triggering starbursts, waves of new stars, igniting across the forming galaxy. Somewhere light continues to travel. But that time is still far away. For now, everything remains quiet. A calm approach, a long inhalation before the slow dance begins. The galaxies continue drifting through the night, their shapes intact, their rhythms steady. It's okay to drift. Every star in both spirals follows a path shaped not just by its parent galaxy, but by the entire gravitational landscape of the local group. These paths are intricate, woven over billions of years. Some stars loop above the galactic plane, some dip through the disk, some sway outward in elongated orbits that will someday respond more strongly to Andromeda's pull. You can rest now. Planetary systems, hundreds of billions of them, circle their stars in quiet orbits. Asteroid belts drift, comets glide. Moons follow ancient paths that rarely change. The merger to come is no threat to them. Space is too vast distances, too wide motions, too gentle. Somewhere light continues to travel. Dark matter, silent and unseen, holds the shape of everything. It forms the cosmic scaffolding on which galaxies hang, bending space-time so that stars move in wide, graceful curves. Without it, neither the Milky Way nor Andromeda could maintain their structure. It's okay to drift. And in the very center of this unfolding story lies a truth older than galaxies. The universe grows not through violence, but through slow, patient rearrangement. Galaxies merge, stars drift, atoms travel vast distances before becoming part of something new. Everything changes, but nothing is lost. You can rest now. We picture both galaxies floating in the dark, two lanterns approaching across an ocean of silence. Their light mingles long before their stars do. Their gravity entwines long before their shapes touch. Somewhere, light continues to travel. Eventually, their first pass will come a sweeping curve through each other that unfolds over hundreds of millions of years. Tidal tails will stretch, gas clouds will swirl, stars will follow new paths drawn by the blended pull of two massive hearts of gravity. But that still lies far ahead. For now, the long, gentle approach continues. Unhurried, inevitable, beautiful. It's okay to drift. The universe in all its vastness moves with a calm that mirrors your breath, slow, even, endlessly unfolding. And here in this moment, you drift with it, light and soft, carried by the same quiet forces that guide the galaxies. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. They move closer still, two spirals drifting through an ocean of darkness, their halos already touching their gravity, blending into a single deeper well. Nothing dramatic, nothing sudden, just the gentle shift of two galaxies accepting each other's presence after billions of quiet years. It's okay to drift. The first signs of their future meeting begin far from their shining cores, in the outskirts where loose stars wander in wide, elongated orbits. Here, the faint pull from the other galaxy tugs with a touch so soft it would take millions of years for the change to become noticeable. But the change is there. Orbits stretch, trails bend, paths begin the slow work of becoming tidal streams. You can rest now. Deep in the cosmic dark, the outermost stars of Andromeda feel the Milky Way first. These stars drift farther from their own galaxy's center than any others. Some more than 1,000,000 light years away, caught in delicate balancing acts between gravity and motion. A small nudge across a million-year breath can alter their course. A gentle pull can extend their orbit into a long, ribbon-like arc. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The same is true in our galaxy. The Milky Way's outer halo, filled with ancient stars and faint dwarf galaxies, begins to lean ever so slightly toward Andromeda's distant glow. The Sagittarius stream, already looping gracefully around the disk, shifts its curve, a response so small that only the universe itself has the patience to witness it. It's okay to drift. The dark matter halos, vast, invisible dominant, do most of this early work. They are enormous, extending hundreds of thousands of light years, far larger than the shining parts of each galaxy. These halos overlap long before starlight meets starlight. And in that overlap, gravity begins its long conversation. Not in words, but in gentle curvature space-time bending slowly to accommodate the pull of the other. You can rest now. Inside Andromeda, gas clouds respond next. Not by shifting position, but by tightening slightly compression, measured not in pressure, but in possibility. These clouds, rich with hydrogen and dust, are the places where future stars will form. For now, they simply wait, feeling the faint approach of a companion galaxy, still millions of years away. Somewhere light continues to travel. The Milky Way's gas clouds respond in much the same way. Nebulae brighten subtly as internal turbulence stirs. Molecular hydrogen collides gently within them. Density increases by fractions, too small to see. But these fractions matter. One day, they will ignite waves of new stars as the merger unfolds. It's okay to drift. Between the galaxies, thin tendrils of intergalactic gas begin to draw outward, not in streams yet, but in soft, stretched veils. Gravity moves even this nearly invisible material, pulling it along vast arcs. These veils will one day become the bridges of light, seen in merging galaxies across the cosmos. Bridges spanning tens of thousands of light years, connecting spirals in slow, luminous embraces. You can rest now. The cores of both galaxies remain peaceful at this stage. Their bulges glow steadily stars, orbiting quietly around supermassive black holes that do not yet feel the gravity of the approaching giant. Each black hole, millions of times the mass of the sun, rests like a stone at the center of a calm pond, unmoved by distant ripples. Somewhere, light continues to travel. As their separation decreases, the shapes of both galaxies begin to lean ever so faintly, not enough to be seen from Earth, but enough for the universe to record. The arms of Andromeda stretch a little farther, their tips bending outward in anticipation of the future tide. The Milky Way's arms respond too, each spiral curve slightly loosening at the edges, as though preparing for the long dance ahead. It's okay to drift. In this early stage, the galaxies feel each other only as possibilities. Soft, slow, gravitational invitations. No chaos, no collision, just the quiet, patient shaping of what will someday become a shared destiny. You can rest now, all across their vast disks, in bright clusters, in cold nebulae, in lonely outskirts. Stars continue their normal lives. Some expand into red giants, some fade into white dwarfs, some flicker in the final breaths of fusion, all unaware that they are part of a larger motion, a motion many billions of years old. And still, through everything, somewhere light continues to travel. The stretching continues, subtle, patient, written across millions of light years, in motions too slow for any single lifetime to witness. But the universe does not hurry. It shapes galaxies, the way a tide shapes shores, grain by grain, curve by curve, over long, quiet ages. It's okay to drift. The first real distortion appears in the outskirts of Andromeda's disk. Not a twist, not a sudden warp, but a gentle elongation, stars drifting a little farther from their original paths, their orbits responding to the growing influence of the Milky Way's gravity. It is a conversation between galaxies spoken in the language of motion. You can rest now, far from both galactic centers in the deep halos where ancient stars wander. Gravity begins, shaping the earliest tidal structures. Long, pale threads of stars stretch outward along the line connecting the two galaxies. These threads are faint, just the beginning of what will later become vast tidal tails, spanning hundreds of thousands of light years. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The Milky Way responds in kind. Its outer halo, already delicate from past mergers, leans toward Andromeda with quiet inevitability. Streams of old stars, relics from absorbed dwarf galaxies, shift their orbits by fractions too small to feel yet large enough to shape the first signs of convergence. It's okay to drift, far from both galactic centers in the deep halos where ancient stars wander. Gravity begins, shaping the earliest tidal structures. Long, pale threads of stars stretch outward along the line connecting the two galaxies. These threads are faint, just the beginning of what will later become vast tidal tails, spanning hundreds of thousands of light years. Somewhere, light continues to travel. In regions where dark matter is densest, gravity deepens more quickly. This unseen substance, far outweighing all the stars and gas combined, forms the scaffolding upon which both galaxies rest. As their halos merge, the gravitational landscape changes, subtly redirecting particles and stars into new, gently curving paths. Somewhere light continues to travel. This compression is important. It sets the stage for starburst regions that will ignite later in the merger. Vast sweeps of new stars born from the meeting of gas clouds. But for now, the change is quiet, almost imperceptible, like a breath taken long before words are spoken. It's okay to drift. Between the galaxies, the intergalactic medium stretches thin tendrils of gas, pulled outward along gravitational gradients. This gas is cold and sparse, yet it follows the same rules as every star and planet and molecule it moves, where space-time curves. And space-time is beginning to curve more deeply between the two galaxies. You can rest now. The shapes of both galaxies reflect this deepening connection. Andromeda's spiral arms unfurl slightly further their tips, bending toward the Milky Way in long sweeping arcs. The Milky Way's arms respond with soft warps at the edges, distortions too subtle for human eyes, but clear in the language of cosmic motion. Somewhere light continues to travel. In the far halos, globular clusters, spherical cities of ancient stars, shift their orbits as well. Some tilt slightly, their paths tightening around the combined gravitational center. Others begin to drift outward, destined to become part of the wide tidal tails that will accompany the future merger. It's okay to drift. Deep within both galaxies, nothing yet disturbs the central regions. Stars orbit calmly around their supermassive black holes, following paths set billions of years ago. The black holes remain quiet, their motions unchanged, still dark anchors holding steady as the outer galaxy begins its slow transformation. You can rest now. Yet even in these calm cores, the future is already written. As the galaxies move closer, their centers will feel each other's gravity, and their paths will begin to spiral toward eventual union. But that is still billions of years away. Nothing hurried, nothing sudden. Only the soft promise of change carried across unimaginable distances. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The outer arms feel it most clearly, the growing gravitational tide guiding stars outward into long, delicate arcs. These arcs will thicken over time, becoming luminous threads etched across the cosmic dark. They will mark the first true embrace of the galaxies, a beginning as gentle as the touch of one breeze meeting another. It's okay to drift. For now, the galaxies remain separate, their centers untouched, their structures intact. Only their edges speak in faint stretches, soft warps, tiny shifts in ancient orbits. And the universe listens patient and calm as two spirals prepare for the long, luminous dance ahead. You can rest now. The arms have begun to stretch, and the first chapter of their meeting is quietly unfolding, slow, serene, carried by gravity's oldest breath. They drift closer still, two spirals moving through the quiet, with the certainty of tides drawn across an invisible shore. The stretching of their arms has already begun, but now a new stage unfolds, the first true gravitational touch between their shining disks. It's okay to drift. The distance between them shrinks slowly at first. Still millions of light years apart, yet their halos, vast cocoons of dark matter, have merged into a single gravitational landscape. What affects one subtly affects the other. A symmetry begins to form, a quiet balancing of two massive presences. You can rest now. In the outskirts of Andromeda, stars begin to arc in longer, deeper loops. Their wide paths dip gently toward the Milky Way, curved by the faint pull of a companion galaxy they have never seen, only felt through the slow shaping of motion. Somewhere, light continues to travel. Gas clouds respond next. The faint turbulence stirring within them grows a shade stronger. Hydrogen molecules, usually drifting through vast cold pockets, collide with just a little more frequency. Dust grains press closer together. These are not collisions, just nudges, like particles, remembering they are part of something larger. It's okay to drift. Inside the Milky Way, similar ripples pass through the disk. They move quietly, subtle waves that alter gas density over millions of years. The spiral arms grow slightly brighter as stars and dust respond to the new gravitational rhythm. It is not yet dramatic, but it is undeniable. You can rest now. Between the galaxies, the intergalactic medium begins to thin further as faint filaments stretch along the line of approach. Gas spreads into long, delicate tendrils that arc across empty space, following the deepest curves of the gravitational field. Somewhere light continues to travel. The halos of both galaxies now function like a single system. Stars in the far reaches no longer belong entirely to one galaxy or the other. Their orbits are shared, their futures intertwined. Some will drift outward into long tidal tails. Others will be drawn inward toward the merging centers. It's okay to drift. The galaxies themselves, still brilliantly intact, look serene from afar. Two luminous spirals suspended in darkness, each glowing with billions of suns. But their shapes carry the first signatures of the coming encounter. Andromeda leans forward. The Milky Way's outer disk tilts by the faintest fraction, a sign not of disturbance, but of communication. You can rest now. The first gravitational resonance, a kind of cosmic harmony, forms between them. It is not a sound, but a shared motion felt across hundreds of thousands of light years. Both galaxies begin to sway toward each other, their arms responding to the rising tide of attraction. Somewhere, light continues to travel. In Andromeda's central regions, stars maintain their quiet orbits. Nothing reaches the core yet. The bulge glows steadily, its ancient stars older and cooler than the bright blue giants in the spiral arms. The supermassive black hole remains still unaware of the long-threaded approach of its distant counterpart. It's okay to drift, but the outer regions, the loose wandering outskirts, feel everything. These stars and clusters are the first to show the elongated arcs that mark tidal engagement. Pulled outward, they trace delicate curves that will one day become luminous streams, linking galaxy to galaxy. You can rest now. The Milky Way's halo reacts similarly. Globular clusters tilt. Old stellar streams stretch a little farther. Every orbit leans subtly toward the deepening gravity between the two spirals. Somewhere, light continues to travel. Though these changes unfold over tens of millions of years, the direction is clear. The galaxies have entered a stage where their fates are no longer separate. The first touch of gravity has reached their outermost stars. The long merging has begun. It's okay to drift. And amid these immense scales, these silent forces, the universe continues its slow, unfolding, calm, patient, guided by the same rhythm that guides your breath as you lie here, drifting gently into the story of starlight. You can rest now. The approach deepens. Their halos, already braided together, now begin to guide the first true motions that will reshape both spirals. The Milky Way and Andromeda are still far from touching, still separated by more than 1,000,000 light years, but their futures have already begun to merge. It's okay to drift. The outermost stars feel the change first. Those wandering along wide, gentle paths find their orbits stretching, tilting, leaning toward the gravitational midpoint between the two galaxies. Each loop grows longer, more extended, as if gravity were slowly smoothing the curves of their ancient roads. You can rest now. These early distortions set the stage for what astronomers call the first galactic pass, a sweeping, elegant moment when the two spirals will glide through each other's outer regions without ever touching physically. A near miss, on the largest scale, imaginable, spanning hundreds of millions of years. Somewhere light continues to travel. Before that pass arrives, the galaxies must prepare, not consciously, but through slow gravitational response. The disks begin to arch. The spiral arms grow more pliant, like delicate ribbons stirred by a breeze that has not yet reached them. It's okay to drift. Andromeda's massive disk, home to 1,000,000,000,000 stars, leans forward first. The leading edge extends outward, pulled ever so softly toward the Milky Way. This motion is tiny on human scales, but enormous when measured over hundreds of thousands of light years. You can rest now. The Milky Way responds its own disk, bending in a slow, graceful curve. Stars near the rim begin tracing slightly longer loops. Some climb upward from the galactic plane, others dip below it, all responding to the rising tide between the two ancient spirals. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The intergalactic medium-thin gas drifting between the galaxies feels the shift as well. It begins to draw into filaments, soft threads connecting halo to halo like faint bridges of breath. These filaments will one day become glowing tidal bridges, lanes of stretched starlight, linking the galaxies in their first embrace. It's okay to drift. Within Andromeda's disk, gas clouds tighten further. Molecular hydrogen folds inward, gently compressed by the shifting gravitational field. This compression is the quiet promise of future starburst regions, vast waves of new stars that will ignite as the galaxies weave through each other. You can rest now. The Milky Way's nebulae echo the same changes. Dust thickens in some pockets. Cold gas gathers into knots that will one day collapse under their own weight, forming clusters bright with young blue stars. But that future glow is still millions of years away. For now, everything remains calm. Somewhere light continues to travel. Dark matter, silent, unseen, continues shaping the encounter. Its vast halo acts like a gravitational cushion, softening the approach, slowing certain motions, guiding others. Without it, the galaxies would tear each other apart. With it, they move like dancers, tracing arcs across a silent floor. It's okay to drift. As the first pass approaches, the galaxies gather momentum, not speed momentum, a growing alignment of their paths, their halos, their gravitational centers. The space between them curves more deeply, now forming a valley into which both spirals slowly descend. You can rest now. The disks begin to warp in earnest. Edges curl, spiral arms stretch. The faint outer gas starts to ripple as though touched by a soft cosmic tide. These ripples are the earliest signatures of the encounter, the first whispers of the collision that is not a collision. Somewhere, light continues to travel. In truth, stars will rarely touch. The space between them is too vast, too quiet, too open. Even as the galaxies pass directly through one another, their stars will glide past in long, unhurried arcs. Their paths shaped not by impacts, but by the immense patient pull of gravity. It's okay to drift. Near the core of each galaxy, the ancient stars continue their steady orbits. They sense nothing, yet nothing disruptive, nothing sudden. Their motions are unchanged, as if time itself has slowed to watch the galaxies draw near. You can rest now. The first touch of gravity becomes deeper now, a slow, widening curve that pulls the galaxies toward the moment when their spirals will sweep past each other, arms stretching into luminous arcs that glow across darkness for hundreds of millions of years. As the first pass approaches, the galaxies gather momentum, not speed momentum, a growing alignment of their paths, their halos, their gravitational centers. The space between them curves more deeply, now forming a valley into which both spirals slowly descend. You can rest now. Somewhere light continues to travel, and through it all, the universe remains calm, vast, patient, carrying the galaxies toward their first shared breath of motion. The moment draws closer now, not a moment of impact, but a moment of passing. Two galaxies, both ancient and luminous, approach the point where their spirals will glide through each other's outer regions, like drifting currents of starlight. It's okay to drift. The intergalactic distance that once stretched across millions of light years has thinned to something more intimate, still vast, still quiet, but close enough that the first sweeping motions of the encounter begin to ripple through both disks. Andromeda leans forward. The Milky Way follows its outer arms, starting to lift, as though responding to a gentle call in the dark. You can rest now. The halo's deep wells of dark matter that cradle each galaxy have merged fully. Their gravitational fields overlap into a single shared landscape. Stars that once orbited securely within their own galaxy now drift through paths shaped by the mass of both. No chaos, only the slow reshaping of ancient roads. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The first tidal arcs begin to brighten faint ribbons of stars drawn outward and upward by the gravity of the approaching spiral. These arcs stretch across tens of thousands of light years, delicate as starlit cloth pulled slowly from a loom. They are the earliest threads of the tidal bridges that will one day connect the Milky Way and Andromeda in a long, luminous embrace. It's okay to drift. Gas clouds deepen their response. Hydrogen swirls inward along spiraling paths, each cloud tightening softly under the influence of the new gravitational field. These clouds, rich with future starlight, begin to ripple like calm water meeting a distant wave. The seeds of starburst regions form here, quiet precursors to the brilliant waves of star formation that will ignite when the spirals fully pass through each other. You can rest now. Far from the cores, stars at the rims of both galaxies arc outward with slightly greater curvature. These are the first motions of the tidal tails, long streams of stars that will one day stretch far beyond the disks, each a luminous memory of the galaxy's gentle passage. Somewhere light continues to travel. The Milky Way responds visibly now. Its disk bends upward in a subtle warp near the edges, as if lifting its arms toward the approaching Andromeda. The spiral arms loosen their stars, drifting just a little further apart, stretching in ways that suggest a future filled with graceful rearrangement. It's okay to drift. Within Andromeda, dust lanes shift into new elegant curves. The galaxy's massive disk begins rotating through a gravitational field that is no longer its own. Orbits change slightly. Brightness along the arms thickens just a touch. Stars migrate inward and outward on paths shaped not by sudden force, but by patient, steady gravity. You can rest now, and in the Milky Way's core, silent, steady, filled with old red stars, everything remains calm. The black hole at the center still rests like a stone, deep within a quiet well. Nothing disturbs it yet, but in time, it will begin a slow drift toward the gravitational midpoint between the two galaxies, a journey that will take hundreds of millions of years. Somewhere light continues to travel. Between the galaxies, the tidal bridge strengthens. Not yet bright, but present a faint, expanding structure, woven from dust gas and long threads of starlight pulled between the spirals. This bridge marks the beginning of the first pass, a soft connection between two giants meeting across darkness. It's okay to drift. As the galaxies move closer, the leading edges of their disks begin to overlap in projection, a visual alignment that foretells the future path their stars will take during the coming encounter. Those edges bend and stretch, forming shapes that mirror what astronomers have seen in merging galaxies across the universe. Long arcs, soft curves, trails lit by billions of suns. You can rest now. Inside the spiral arms of both galaxies, clusters shift as if catching a breeze, subtle changes that hint at the rising tide of gravity that will soon sweep through the disks. Bright blue giants move slightly outward. Old red stars settle inward. A choreography older than any world, guided by the invisible hand of mass and motion. Somewhere light continues to travel. The first pass is drawing near. Not with speed, but with certainty. A slow, graceful convergence that will rewrite the shapes of both galaxies with the gentlest touch imaginable. It's okay to drift. And as the universe watches silent and unhurried, the two spirals continue their long descent toward the moment when their arms will finally sweep through each other like two beams of starlight crossing in the quiet. You can rest now. They reach the threshold now, the quiet border between anticipation and movement, between two galaxies approaching and two galaxies beginning to touch through the long arcs of their spiraling arms. It's okay to drift. Their disks are still separated by a gulf too wide for any star to cross quickly, yet gravity has already woven the path of their first encounter. This meeting will not be sudden. It will unfold over hundreds of millions of years, slow enough for the universe to breathe between every shift and curve. You can rest now, and then the leading edges of the galaxies finally sweep close enough for gravity to reshape their spirals in earnest. The stars do not collide. There is too much space, too much silence between them. But their orbits bend in long, graceful motions as each galaxy passes within the outer reach of the other. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The first pass begins when Andromeda's forward arm is drawn outward into a great sweeping arc. This arc stretches beautifully, lifting stars like a tide raising a quiet shore. It forms a long tail, a luminous ribbon thrust far into the intergalactic dark, glowing with billions of tiny suns carried along by the encounter. It's okay to drift. The Milky Way answers with its own arc. Drawn outward, by Andromeda's mass stars at our galaxy's edge rise into a sweeping bridge, curving across space like a pale breath suspended in the dark. This bridge marks the true beginning of the long merger, a connection written not in collisions, but in the gentle play of gravity. You can rest now. The two spirals pass through each other's outer atmospheres like drifting mist. Their arms cross, their halos blend further. Starlight slides past starlight in slow-motion waves that reshape each disk without breaking it. Somewhere, light continues to travel. Deep inside the disks, gas clouds begin to move with new urgency. Not chaotic, just more focused, drawn into converging lanes where density rises. These convergences ignite the first bursts of star formation. New stars flare into being young and blue and bright, their light softening the dark spaces between worlds. It's okay to drift. In regions where gas collects most densely, clusters form thousands of stars born in the same glowing cradle, their combined light painting soft washes of blue across the merging spirals. These clusters are the universe's response to the meeting of galaxies, a flowering of starlight where gravity gathers breath. You can rest now. As the galaxies move through each other's outskirts, their cores remain separate. Two glowing hearts passing at a distance, their motions guided by a shared gravitational valley that deepens with time. Neither black hole feels the presence of the other yet. Their influence is far-reaching, but measured over hundreds of thousands of light years, the encounter is still gentle. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The tidal tails grow brighter. Stretched by the interaction, their stars drift outward in elegant streams that may span 3,000,000 light years or more. These tails are not signs of destruction, but of transformation, the rearranging of stars into new patterns across the cosmic night. It's okay to drift. Inside the Milky Way, the sun continues its quiet orbit, unaware of the vast motions unfolding on galactic scales. Planets follow their ancient paths. Comets drift in silence. Everything familiar remains intact, wrapped in the calm of unimaginable distances. You can rest now. Between the galaxies, the tidal bridge strengthens. A faint flow of stars and gas sets out along it, carried by gravitational gradients that connect the spirals. Over millions of years, this bridge will thicken, glowing softly as it becomes part of the structure, linking the two galaxies in their first shared movement. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The first pass reaches its midpoint as the centers of the galaxies glide past each other, distant, unchanged, but already beginning a long spiraling dance toward the future. The encounter slows, then widens, then settles into a deep curve that will eventually draw them back together for a second pass. It's okay to drift. And as the galaxies continue their long, sweeping motions, the universe remains calm, as it always has, vast, patient, carrying the spirals toward a shared dawn, written in the quiet pull of gravity's breath. You can rest now. They move past each other now, two spirals that have brushed arms, shared tides, and awakened starbirth in their luminous wakes. And as their disks glide apart, the universe settles again into a deeper quiet. It's okay to drift. The first pass doesn't end in separation. It ends in expansion. The galaxies pull away just as softly as they approach their tidal tails, trailing behind them like long ribbons unfurling across darkness. These tails shimmer with hundreds of billions of scattered stars, each one tracing the memory of where the galaxies once crossed. You can rest now. Behind Andromeda, a grand arc unfurls a tidal tail, extending nearly 3,000,000 light years, curving like a luminous river through the intergalactic sea. Its stars move slowly, following wide, gentle paths that gravity carved during the encounter. They drift outward now, but they remain tethered to Andromeda's future. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The Milky Way grows its own tail, a sweeping, delicate stream that lifts above the galactic plane in a soft arc. Stars within it shine with varying ages, young blue clusters born during the first pass, older red giants pulled outward from the disk, and ancient halo stars stretched into new orbits by the encounter. It's okay to drift. Between the galaxies, a faint tidal bridge remains thin, ghostly woven from dust gas and starlight. This bridge is fragile, but it endures for millions of years, a reminder of the moment their paths wove together. Particles of hydrogen flow along it like mist caught in a silent current. Some will join Andromeda's halo. Some will return to the Milky Way. All drift in calm, guided by the overlapping shapes of their gravitational wells. You can rest now. The galaxies recede not away forever, but along a long, looping arc set by their combined mass. The first pass has altered their trajectories, curving both spirals into paths that will eventually bring them back for a second, deeper encounter. This retreat is merely a breath, a long exhale before the next approach. Somewhere, light continues to travel. Inside each galaxy, subtle echoes of the encounter remain. In Andromeda, dust lanes ripple in wide, gentle waves. Regions of compressed gas begin forming clusters, glowing nurseries that will brighten over millions of years. Young stars ignite in soft bursts, their ultraviolet light sweeping through the dust like dawn through a quiet valley. It's okay to drift. The Milky Way experiences the same gentle awakening. Nebulae stirred by the first pass continue compressing their densities, rising toward future star formation. In some regions, the gas collapses into brilliant pockets of starlight clusters, forming in slow waves that spread across the spiral arms. But nothing is rushed. Even starbirth obeys the patient pace of cosmic time. You can rest now. The cores of both galaxies remain peaceful. Their supermassive black holes still circle quietly within their own wells, unaware that the encounter has begun a process that will, in far future ages, draw them toward one another in a slow, spiraling path. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The Milky Way experiences the same gentle awakening. Nebulae stirred by the first pass continue compressing their densities, rising toward future star formation. In some regions, the gas collapses into brilliant pockets of starlight clusters, forming in slow waves that spread across the spiral arms. But nothing is rushed. Even starbirth obeys the patient pace of cosmic time. It's okay to drift. The retreat continues for hundreds of millions of years, carried by inertia and the wide arcs dictated by their combined masses. But it is not a farewell, it is part of the dance. Every movement is reflective, balanced a step in the long choreography of merging galaxies. As the galaxies drift apart, the sky of any distant world inside either spiral would be filled with remnants of the encounter. The tidal tails would appear as soft streaks of light arcing across the heavens like glowing brushstrokes. Andromeda, once a faint oval in the sky, would now appear, stretched, luminous, its edges warped by the first pass. Even the Milky Way would shine, with altered shapes, new brightnesses new contours traced by the starburst regions. The tidal tails lengthen, the bridge fades slowly, its stars and gas, joining one galaxy or the other as gravity decides their fate. The darkness between them deepens once more, not empty, just quiet, a soft pause between cosmic motions. Somewhere light continues to travel. And so for a long stretch of time, the galaxies drift separate in form, united in future, moving through the dark with the grace of two lanterns floating apart before circling back toward each other again. It's okay to drift. They drift farther now, slowly, steadily, carried outward by the momentum set during their sweeping first pass. This is the quietest stretch of their long encounter, a time when the galaxies separate just enough to gather themselves before the next approach. It's okay to drift. The tidal tails keep stretching delicate rivers of starlight flowing behind each galaxy like trails of shimmering breath. Some of these stars will never return, their orbits elongated so far that they drift freely in the intergalactic dark. Others remain tethered, their long arcs destined to bring them back when the galaxies curve inward again. It's okay to drift. They drift farther now, slowly, steadily, carried outward by the momentum set during their sweeping first pass. This is the quietest stretch of their long encounter, a time when the galaxies separate just enough to gather themselves before the next approach. It's okay to drift. They drift farther now, slowly, steadily, carried outward by the momentum set during their sweeping first pass. This is the quietest stretch of their long encounter, a time when the galaxies separate just enough to gather themselves before the next approach. It's okay to drift. The tidal bridge thins its gas, drifting apart, its stars slowly choosing sides. Some follow Andromeda, some return toward the Milky Way, guided by tiny differences in their inherited momentum. Across millions of years, the bridge fades, becoming a soft ghost, threading darkness between two lanterns, drifting away from each other. It's okay to drift. Inside Andromeda, the ripples left by the first pass continue to unfold. Gas collects in denser pockets, igniting slow bursts of star formation. New clusters form like tiny constellations, hidden within the spiral arms. Each cluster a sign that the galaxy's encounter has already reshaped its inner rhythm. You can rest now. The Milky Way echoes this response. Dusty nebulae grow brighter in infrared light. Regions along the spiral arms thicken with gas primed for starbirth in the ages to come. But the galaxy remains calm, a great, quiet whirl carrying billions of stars in unhurried orbits. Somewhere light continues to travel. As the galaxies separate, the skies of their distant worlds transform once again. Andromeda, once a distorted arc stretched wide by the first pass, begins to shrink in the sky, slowly returning to a more familiar shape, though now larger, brighter, more intricately layered with tidal warps and luminous streams. It's okay to drift. Far above the disks, halo stars continue drifting along newly carved orbits. Some swing outward to distances of 2,000,000 light years or more, tracing long ellipses that mark the extent of the galaxy's shared gravitational domain. Others fall inward, their paths humming softly as they settle into new motions. You can rest now. Eventually, the galaxies reach the point of greatest separation, the far edge of their shared orbit, a quiet turning point known as apoapsis. Here, the outward momentum slows. Gravity deepens its pull, and motion softens into stillness. It is a pause in the language of galaxies, a moment held between drifting apart and drifting together again. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The Milky Way echoes this response. Dusty nebulae grow brighter in infrared light. Regions along the spiral arms thicken with gas primed for starbirth in the ages to come. But the galaxy remains calm, a great, quiet whirl carrying billions of stars in unhurried orbits. Inside Andromeda, the ripples left by the first pass continue to unfold. Gas collects in denser pockets, igniting slow bursts of star formation. New clusters form like tiny constellations hidden within the spiral arms, each cluster a sign that the galaxy's encounter has already reshaped its inner rhythm. In this distant pause, the tidal tails glow faintly against the dark. Their forms stretch like soft brushstrokes, records of the first pass drawn across the canvas of space. The bridge has almost vanished, its stars fully blended into the halos of both galaxies, but its memory remains in the elongated orbits of countless wanderers. You can rest now. During this long outward drift, nothing is lost. Stars remain bound. Gas stays within the deep wells of their combined halos. Every motion, every arc, every curve, every faint shift in the dark becomes part of the choreography that will guide them toward their next meeting. Somewhere light continues to travel, and as the galaxies turn slow, graceful, almost imperceptible, the universe watches with the same calm that holds your breath tonight. Nothing rushed, nothing forced, only the soft, steady unfolding of a future written in starlight and time. It's okay to drift. They turn inward now, slowly, softly, like two drifting lanterns beginning their long return toward the glow of one another. The outward breath of their motion has reached its quiet limit, and gravity, patient and unbroken, begins to draw them together again. You are safe here. For hundreds of millions of years, the galaxies have rested at the farthest point of their shared orbit apoapsis, the still place where motion pauses before bending back inward. In that stillness, their shapes have settled, their tidal tails have lengthened, and the memory of the first pass has softened into luminous arcs, floating through the dark. The universe holds you. Now the curve of space-time deepens, and the galaxies respond with the gentlest shift, a change too slow for any world to notice, yet profound enough to bend the destinies of hundreds of billions of stars. They begin to fall toward each other, once more, drawn along pathways carved by gravity's quiet hand. It's okay to drift. Andromeda moves first, its massive halo pulling inward, in a subtle gathering motion. The Milky Way answers its own disk, responding as if stirred by a distant tide. Their shapes seem steady from afar, but inside them, orbits breathe outward, and then begin their long inhale toward convergence. You are safe here. The tidal tails, those grand, glowing streams stretched by the first pass, start to curve forward. Stars that once trailed behind their parent galaxies now arc inward, like slow, luminous rain falling back toward the spirals. Some will be captured. Some will drift for ages before joining a new orbit. But all follow the same quiet gravitational pull. The universe holds you. The space between the galaxies darkens once more, not with emptiness, but with calm. Dust and gas float through it in thin veils, moving at speeds measured across epochs. Hydrogen atoms so small and quiet follow curves in space-time that lead them slowly inward toward the meeting still to come. It's okay to drift. Within Andromeda clusters, stirred by the first pass, continue their inward settling. Some rise above the disk, some dip below, forming arcs of motion that resemble the inhale of a large cosmic breath. New stars, born in earlier compression waves, shine brightly now, their short lives unfolding as the galaxies close the distance between one another again. You are safe here. In the Milky Way, a similar hush settles. Nebulae brightened by the first pass begin to stabilize. Gas continues to flow through the spiral arms in long, graceful streams. Starbirth remains slow but inevitable, a gentle flowering, encouraged by the meeting that has already begun and the one still ahead. The universe holds you. Far from both galactic centers, halo stars drift in paths reshaped by the first pass and now subtly realigned by the second approach. Their orbits lengthen into wide ellipses, shaped not by the gravity of one galaxy, but by the combined pull of both. Some swing outward for hundreds of thousands of years before falling inward in long, unhurried arcs. It's okay to drift. The tidal tails, once stretching outward like luminous wings, now fold back toward the spirals that created them. Their stars, drawn by gravity across unthinkable distances, move with a stillness that feels almost like sleep. Their paths trace the early outlines of the future, merged galaxy, a shape not yet formed, but already written in the motions of its stars. You are safe here. It's okay to drift. In the Milky Way, a similar hush settles. Nebulae brightened by the first pass begin to stabilize. Gas continues to flow through the spiral arms in long, graceful streams. Starbirth remains slow but inevitable, a gentle flowering, encouraged by the meeting that has already begun and the one still ahead. In the Milky Way, a similar hush settles. Nebulae brightened by the first pass begin to stabilize. Gas continues to flow through the spiral arms in long, graceful streams. Starbirth remains slow but inevitable, a gentle flowering, encouraged by the meeting that has already begun and the one still ahead. You are safe here. By the time the galaxies reach the midpoint of their return, gravity will have carved a deep, shared valley in which both spirals will glide toward their next meeting. The first pass set the memory. The second will begin the true merging. Andromeda brightens as the Milky Way approaches, not with sudden light, but with slow, deepening glow. Its arms appear wider, its dust lanes sharper, its central bulge warmer, as the gravitational field between the galaxies grows more intertwined. The Milky Way mirrors this subtle intensification, its own spiral arms, gathering quiet luminosity as the galaxies curve closer again. You are safe here. Somewhere, light continues to travel. They draw closer, now, two spirals returning from the quiet distance of their long outward drift, falling inward along the vast curved valley that gravity has shaped for them over billions of years. The second approach is deeper, quieter, more certain than the first. It's okay to drift. Their motions loosen into wide, graceful arcs. Each galaxy feels the mass of the other with new clarity, a soft, steady pull that bends their disks, warps their edges, and aligns their futures with a patience older than starlight. The universe holds you. Andromeda's great arms begin to tilt inward, gathering themselves as though preparing for a slow, luminous bow. The Milky Way answers its own spirals, curling slightly tighter, each one following curves carved by the deepening gravity between them. Even separated by hundreds of thousands of light years, their motions echo one another. It's okay to drift. The universe holds you. The tidal tales long and wandering. After the first pass, start drifting forward their forward arcs, mirroring the galaxy's return. Some stars fall inward toward their parent galaxy, finding new orbits within its expanding halo. Others continue their long outward paths before slowly bending back toward the spirals, like luminous leaves caught in a gentle wind. Gas stretched thin during the first pass begins to pool again, gathering along gravity's threads in soft, drifting sheets. These sheets fold inward toward the disks, settling into new lanes that will guide star formation for ages to come. Nothing rushed, nothing loud, only the silent movement of hydrogen returning home. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The intergalactic medium darkens once more, the wide space between the galaxies growing denser with the faint glow of dust pulled along the returning paths. Dust grains so small they would pass unnoticed by any world, nevertheless follow the grand choreography of two giants falling together again. It's okay to drift. Within the galaxies, the subtle ripples left by the first pass settle into long, slow waves. The arms breathe outward, then inward, as the gravitational field softens and deepens in preparation for the next encounter. Star clusters shift, nebulae tilt. Patterns of motion, once stable for millions of years, begin to lean toward the coming merger. You are safe here. In Andromeda, the central bulge brightens softly, its old stars steady and warm. They circle the quiet heart of the galaxy, a supermassive black hole millions of times, the mass of the sun, a point of stillness around which everything else begins to bend. The Milky Way's core remains equally calm, its own black hole, poised in a patient orbit within the galaxy's inner glow. The universe holds you. As the galaxies move inward, their halos deepen, overlapping so completely that the distinction between them grows softer. Dark matter guides their trajectories with gentle insistence, ensuring that the second approach will be closer, slower, more intimate than the first. It's okay to drift. The tidal bridge, once faded to a whisper, begins to reform in the faintest outline. Trace amounts of gas and wandering stars fall into alignment along the line connecting the spirals. It is not a bright bridge, not yet, but a gravitational current drawn tight between two approaching worlds. You are safe here. As the galaxies close, further their shapes distort with a softness that resembles the shift of clouds at dusk. Andromeda's disk tilts inward in a slow arc of inevitability. The Milky Way's disk follows its outer arms, bending toward the approaching giant. Both galaxies seem to breathe in the same long rhythm, a cosmic inhale drawing them together. Somewhere light continues to travel, and in this deepening closeness, new patterns emerge. Halo stars drift inward through newly carved paths. Gas clouds compress into the earliest stages of future starburst waves. Dust forms faint lanes that trace the future motion of merging arms. Everything aligns not by force, but by the calm certainty of gravity. It's okay to drift. The space between the galaxies narrows to a span that no longer feels like separation, but like the silent beginning of joining. Their trajectories lean inward, their tidal structures curve with intention, and the dark fabric of space-time between them grows heavy with shared potential. You are safe here. The second approach deepens, and somewhere in the vast, quiet dark between their glowing disks, the future waits soft, patient, gathered in the slow, inevitable merging of two galaxies moving as one breath. They close the distance again, two spirals returning from the long, quiet arc of separation, drawn inward by gravity's patient breath. The second approach narrows into something deeper now, something slower, something inevitable. It's okay to drift. The shapes of both galaxies begin to loosen as they fall toward each other. Tidal forces stretch their arms into broad, luminous sweeps that glow faintly against the dark. The long tails formed after the first pass curve inward, joining the motion like streams flowing back toward a quiet sea. You are safe here. Their halos, already fully intertwined, guide the encounter with a stability that keeps every movement soft and expansive. Dark matter forms a shared well beneath them, a deep valley carved over billions of years. The galaxies follow its contours with the calm certainty of rivers descending along ancient channels. The universe holds you, and then the second pass begins, not as an impact, but as a long, slow, sweeping two galactic disks gliding through each other's outskirts once more. Their spiral arms stretch into arcs far longer than before, their stars bending along gentle trajectories shaped by the combined mass of both spirals. It's okay to drift. Andromeda's leading arm curves upward, pulled into a bright ribbon that folds into the Milky Way's halo. The Milky Way's own arms respond, in kind, loosening into elongated streams that arc toward Andromeda in soft, luminous motions. Nothing rushes, nothing collides, everything flows. You are safe here. Gas clouds, far more compressed now than during the first pass, meet in slow, drifting waves. Not violently, but with the gentle pressure of two currents merging. This compression ignites new bursts of starlight clusters, of young stars spark into existence like embers glowing in a deep cosmic dusk. Somewhere light continues to travel. These starburst regions spread through the disks as gravity blends their gaseous lanes. Blue-white stars flare bright and young, living fast, burning, intensely casting soft ultraviolet halos through the surrounding dust. Each cluster is a signature of the galaxy's second embrace. It's okay to drift. The central regions remain apart, but they feel each other now. The gravitational fields of both cores begin to tug along shared lines, a subtle, gradual pull that stretches across tens of thousands of light years. This is the beginning of the long inward spiral that will someday bring the two black holes into a single orbit. You are safe here. The stars near the centers respond with delicate shifts. Orbits stretch into gentle ellipses. Paths tilt by the smallest angles. Nothing changes quickly, but everything changes with intention. The galaxies are aligning, merging their shapes into the first outline of the future Milkdromeda. The universe holds you. Between the spirals, the dark fabric of space-time begins to curve more deeply, forming channels through which gas and stars flow with increasing ease. Tidal bridges grow brighter, thicker, more defined long lanes of starlight, connecting the galaxies in wide, sweeping arcs. It's okay to drift. The second pass is more intimate than the first, closer, slower, more intricately tied to the galaxy's shared gravitational memory. Every movement traces a pattern set during their last encounter. Every tail loops in harmony with the last arc of their ancient trajectories. You are safe here. Gas clouds, already warmed and stirred by the first encounter, now ignite in waves of compression. Some collapse quickly, forming tight knots of future star clusters. Others stretch inward, along long glowing lanes. The galaxies breathe in alternating pulses of light and stillness. Somewhere, light continues to travel. Through it all, the darkness remains gentle, a vast, quiet cushion carrying the spirals through their second crossing. Stars glide by one another. In slow motion, sweeps their paths bending but never colliding, their futures redrawn with calm, expansive grace. It's okay to drift. The second pass is only the beginning of the deeper merging to come. But already, their shapes echo each other. Arms stretched, tails flowing cores, stirring in long, subtle spirals that curve inward toward a shared horizon. You are safe here. They move deeper into each other now, two spirals crossing paths in a slow, luminous drift that reshapes everything with patience, older than stars. The second pass is not a moment. It is a long, unfolding breath where gravity rewrites the future of both galaxies. It's okay to drift. The arms of Andromeda reach farther into the Milky Way, long ribbons of starlight drawn inward along curved lanes carved by the encounter. The Milky Way's arms mirror the motion, stretching into pale, delicate streams that wrap themselves across darkness like soft threads of dawn. You are safe here. As the galaxies sweep through each other's outer disks again, their tidal tails curl into spiraling loops, graceful arcs that wind around the merging structure. Each loop, evidence of a motion repeated, a memory revisited. These loops will linger for eons, drifting slowly outward before dissolving into the deepening well of the forming galaxy. The universe holds you. Gas clouds meet in long drifting fronts, their compression rising to new intensities. These clouds collapse more readily now, gravity guiding them inward with subtle insistence. Starburst regions bloom in waves, clusters igniting with blue-white brilliance that glows softly through interstellar dust. The arms of Andromeda reach farther into the Milky Way, long ribbons of starlight drawn inward along curved lanes carved by the encounter. The Milky Way's arms mirror the motion, stretching into pale, delicate streams that wrap themselves across darkness like soft threads of dawn. You are safe here. You are safe here. In the inner disks, the second pass begins to soften the boundaries between the two galaxies. Andromeda's inner regions tilt and twist, forming long asymmetries that stretch toward the Milky Way. The Milky Way's coreward stars shift subtly into trajectories that no longer belong to a single spiral, but to both. The universe holds you. You are safe here. It's okay to drift. Far inside the galaxies, close to their glowing hearts, the gravitational fields of the two supermassive black holes begin to interact. Not strongly, not directly, but perceptibly. Their motions tilt by tiny angles. Their futures spiral toward one another. Has begun measured across hundreds of millions of years. You are safe here. The universe holds you. Somewhere, light continues to travel. You are safe here. It's okay to drift. Close to the cores, the stars move in exquisitely slow patterns. Orbits stretch, rotations twist. Paths that once circled a single center now widen toward the midpoint between both galaxies. The beginnings of a dual-core structure form in the darkness, two glowing centers bound by gravity, destined to orbit before merging. You are safe here. Across vast stretches of space, the tidal bridges thicken with faint starlight. Gas flows inward along these bridges, following gravitational gradients, too subtle to describe yet strong enough to guide matter across unimaginable distances. These bridges form the backbone of the next approach, the next merging of arms. The universe holds you, and through all of this, you drift with them, your breath moving in the same slow rhythm, your body settling into the gentle knowing that nothing in the universe hurries. Even galaxies take their time to find one another. It's okay to drift. And in the deepening calm of this second embrace, the galaxies begin their long descent toward the moment when their hearts will meet and two spirals will fade into one. You are safe here. You drift deeper now into the softest part of the story where the galaxies begin their long, slow joining. The second pass has carried them close, and now the space between their hearts starts to fold inward, quietly, patiently, as though the universe is exhaling around you. You are safe here. You feel the calm widen, like a still lake at night, when all the wind has left the surface. The Milky Way and Andromeda hover in that same stillness, no longer two spirals, not yet one, but something in between, something slow and luminous and deeply serene. The universe holds you. Their arms stretched thin by tides begin to settle inward. You sense the soft return streams of stars drifting back toward the growing center, their paths curving like threads being gathered into a single hand. Nothing pulls sharply. Everything folds with the hush of a closing petal. It's okay to drift. You watch the tidal loops wrap themselves gently around the forming core, great arcs of starlight that move so slowly you can only feel their motion as a kind of quiet reassurance. These loops will become the first outlines of a new galactic halo, broad, soft, and ancient before it is even born. You are safe here. Gas flows inward now, following subtle channels carved by the near-aligned disks. You can almost imagine your breath moving with it, long, gentle currents, carrying possibility toward the merging centers. As the clouds meet, pressure rises but softly, as though the universe itself is careful not to disturb your rest. The universe holds you. Clusters form during the first starburst shine with a warm steadiness. You can feel their calm, those newborn suns glowing softly in pockets of dust and quiet. More clusters are forming now, igniting one by one across the drifting arms. Their light spreads like tiny embers in a vast dark hearth. It's okay to drift, and near the cores, you sense the shift, a deep gravitational music beginning its slow refrain. The two centers, once far apart, now start to circle within the same broad valley of mass. They are still distant, but they follow the same slow spiral now, the same gentle descent. You are safe here. Stars close to each nucleus adjust their orbits, stretching into elongated loops that arc toward the midpoint between the two glowing hearts. Every orbit moves like a soft brushstroke, every curve drawn with patience. You can almost feel your own breath following their quiet rhythm. The universe holds you. The galaxies themselves lose the last traces of their separate spirals. You sense the shapes becoming rounder, softer, as though the universe is smoothing the edges of two drifting lanterns until they glow as one widening light. It's okay to drift. Dust lanes unwind from their spiral patterns and settle into broad streams. Gas finds its way into shared reservoirs around the forming core. Stars glide past one another in slow-motion rivers, some moving outward, some inward, all guided by the deepening gravity at the center. You are safe here. The tidal bridges that once linked the galaxies stretch thin and dissolve into the halo their stars, taking new gentle paths around the merging heart. Nothing is abrupt, nothing is lost. Everything finds a new orbit, a new quiet, a new belonging. The universe holds you. And through all of this, you drift calmly with them, your breath settling your thoughts, loosening your body, growing lighter as the galaxies begin their long joining. Their motion is slow, steady, and full of space for you to rest within. It's okay to drift. The cores move a little closer, a little slower, tracing graceful spirals through the dark, not yet touching, not yet merging, but circling the moment where two ancient lights will share the same center. You are safe here. This is the quiet, joining the soft convergence before the final embrace, a calm written in motions, older than memory, older than earth, older than breath. And as you drift with them, the universe continues to hold you gently in its widening hands. You drift deeper still into the soft gravitational hush where the two galactic hearts begin circling each other in slow spiraling silence. The world around you feels lighter now, as though the universe is dimming every bright edge, leaving only the shapes that help you rest. You are safe here. You feel the motion of the galaxy's cores, two luminous centers following gentle ellipses around a shared point. They are massive, ancient, quiet, and yet the dance they follow moves with the grace of a falling leaf. Their spirals are narrowing, their orbits are softening, and everything inside you responds to that settling. The universe holds you. You sense the halo taking on its final shape, broad, round, smoother than any spiral, a slow blending of countless stars into a single deep glow. The tidal tails that once arced outward now fold inward like long threads, drawn gently back to the center. They wrap themselves around the forming galaxy in quiet loops, becoming part of the future instead of the past. It's okay to drift. The gas that flowed inward during the second pass settles into vast calm reservoirs around the merging centers. From these pools, new stars will rise slowly for billions of years, but not yet. For now, the gas rests cooled by time, shaped by distance, and held by gravity with the softness of a cradle. You are safe here. Dust dissolves into wide, faint lanes that drift like fog through the merging core. You feel yourself drifting with them, slow, weightless, unhurried. Everything moves as though the night itself has decided to breathe a little quieter. The universe holds you. The two supermassive black holes draw closer, still distant, still following the long spirals carved for them by gravity, but nearer than before, near enough that their motions begin to trace the earliest outlines of a shared orbit. They circle each other with a deep patience, a rhythm you can feel in your own breath. It's okay to drift. Around them, stars shift into paths that curve toward the merging center. Their orbits stretch and then settle a soft realignment toward the gravity that will soon bind them into a single unified motion. It looks like drift. It feels like drift, and you drift with it, weightless and slow. You are safe here. As the galaxies lose their last traces of separation, the space around them grows velvety and deep. What was once two carved spirals is now a single shape, round, smooth, luminous at the core, quiet at the edges. A new galaxy, unnamed but inevitable, is taking form in the silence. The universe holds you. The stars closest to the center feel the shift most clearly. Their paths wind inward, tracing spirals so gentle they resemble falling snow seen from far away. Their light softens, their motion slows, and in their slow descent, you feel the future settling into place. It's okay to drift. The merging cores continue their quiet circling millions of years, compressing into a motion so delicate it feels like a whisper. Eventually, they will spiral close enough that their orbits bind into a single curve. But not yet. Not in this calm, not in this hush. For now, they drift like two embers, glowing at the heart of an ancient fire. You are safe here. The halo settles. The tidal streams dissolve into the background light. The arms fade into memory. All that remains is a single, slow-breathing shape, a galaxy reborn from two old ones, shaped by motion, held together by gravity, and glowing with the quiet warmth of a universe that never hurries. The universe holds you, and as this new galaxy drifts into its final form, you drift with it. Your breath low, your body soft, your thoughts loosened into gentle threads that move like starlight being gathered into a new beginning. It's okay to drift. It's okay to rest. You are safe here. Slow, low, still. Somewhere, light continues to travel. You drift in the quiet now. A quiet so deep, it feels older than stars, older than everything that ever moved through light. Your breath settles into a rhythm that barely stirs the air, and the universe around you softens into one wide, gentle exhale. You are safe here. The two galactic hearts continue their slow, circling embers of gravity, drifting toward one another in long spirals, measured not in moments, but in ages. They glow softly, calmly, like two warm pulses beating in the dark. And as you lie here, you drift into their rhythm, your breath folding into the same slow curve that guides them home. The universe holds you. The last traces of the tidal tails fade into a luminous haze, star streams dissolving into the new halo of the merged galaxy. The arms have disappeared. The structure has blurred. Everything familiar has relaxed into a single, quiet shape. You drift with it, loose, light, untethered. It's okay to drift. The merging cores spiral a little closer, their orbits narrowing their motions, slowing their paths, settling into one deep shared breath. They glow in the dark like two small suns, finding rest in the same cradle of gravity. And you feel it the way the universe leans inward with them, the way it steadies, the way it hushes every last echo of motion. You are safe here. Nebulae fall silent. Starbirth softens. Everything that once shimmered with the energy of change melts into a calm wide enough to hold you as you slip deeper into rest. Somewhere, light continues to travel. You sense the new galaxy breathing slowly, gently, like a vast, glowing organism made of time and memory. Its halo widens into a smooth, quiet sphere. Its center warms into a single glow. Its future stretches into the dark with no urgency at all. And in that warmth, you feel yourself settling lower, lower, still. The universe breathes through you. The two ancient cores spiral one last time before easing into their final orbit, a close, soft circle that will end in their union millions of years from now. But the future is already peaceful. The shape is already set. The path already carved in gravity's gentle script, and you are drifting within that stillness. You are home. You can rest now. Your breath moves like starlight, slowing at the edge of a quiet horizon, soft, low, barely a ripple in the dark. Light still travels, but you are no longer following the motion. You are sinking into the calm beneath it, the calm that galaxies find when their long journey becomes one. The calm that settles when all the spirals fade and only warmth remains. The universe breathes through you. Nothing pulls at you now. Nothing rises. Nothing asks. Everything is still. Everything is soft. Everything is here, holding you in the gentlest possible way. You are home. You can rest now. Slow, deep, low, still. If you are still awake, some small part of the next wonder waits in the quiet light ahead. And now, the rest of you can drift safely into sleep.